Towson University Tigers head back on the road this week in college football when they take on William and Mary. The Tiger Football Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and is locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, Tiger fans, to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with head coach Rob Ambrose. And coach, the Tigers this week taking on William and Mary, a team that is still looking for their first CAA victory of the year. They're 0-6, so you know going down there on Saturday that this is a team that is going to play as hard as they possibly can because they don't want to go winless in the league.
God, there's about a million reasons why everybody's going to play as hard as they can. I mean, it's football. There's another way to play this game, and truth be told, if you're playing any differently, you're probably going to get hurt. Jimmy Laycock's one of the more historic coaches. Has done a great job his entire career. And if you're in the CAA, as it's been proven year in and year out, you can pretty much throw the records out. Game after game after game. It's who plays the best on any given Saturday. And I know they're going to be well coached. I know they got really good football players because I know we recruited some of them. And it's going to be a ball game.
New quarterback this year for the Tribe, Tommy McKee. Last week had a really, really good game against New Hampshire statistically. Unfortunately, threw a couple of picks for them. But he's also their second leading rusher. He's a dynamic type of a player, so you've got to look for him running and throwing the ball.
They've had injuries, especially on offense, in multiple aspects, and at the quarterback position. I think they played 3 different guys there during the season. I've always said, anytime you have to play more than one quarterback during the course of a year, it's not going to be a very good year. And they've had their struggles finding that continuity within a system to fit for a guy. But of all the weeks to come back and play as well as he did against one of the better defenses in our league in New Hampshire, that kind of makes you stay up a little later at night, that they might be finding their rhythm. I mean, everybody I'm talking to, they're a little bit afraid of us right now. They think we're finding our rhythm a little bit and thanking God that the season is as short as it is because we're kind of picking up steam. But I know they're going to be well coached. I know it's going to be a ball game, and we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to play sound football.
They also have, much like the Tigers, you look, and last week 9 guys caught a pass from McKee. For you guys, that's almost a normal week, 9 guys catching a pass. So 2 offenses that don't rely on one guy to catch the football.
No, let's spread it out. And they play good. You know, when William Mary's good, they're playing good team football. While they have some really solid and strong players at individual spots, they play well as an offensive unit. They play well as a defensive unit, and they usually play very, very well in special teams. Defense is really where they've hung their hat probably for the last 5 years. That they play great up front. The linebackers are solid and strong. Some of them, they're usually getting at least one guy every 2 years in the shot in the NFL, and that usually helps them out. So No, it's just gonna be a bar fight. That's pretty much the way it's gonna be. It's gonna be a bar fight, and the team that probably makes the least mistakes and the least turnovers is gonna come away with a win.
For you guys, coming off a disappointing loss last week to Elon, do you worry about you had the big win against Delaware, you almost beat the number 7 team in the country. Do you worry about any kind of a letdown this week in practice?
I think if you're a head coach, you're a coach at all, and you care about your kids, I think you're always worried. That's just what you do. Like, you're a parent, you're always worried about your kids. I don't think that ever changes. But the resiliency that this group has shown, and in listening to the press conference today, even Coach Laycock was talking about our guys. He said, what do you know about that? And he goes, the most amazing thing is they keep fighting, and they fight at a level that is way higher than anybody would possibly expect. Like, they're down 17 in the fourth quarter against another 7 team in the country, and they take it to double overtime and almost win. He goes, how's that supposed to be possible when supposedly you're not going to be in the playoffs? Like, how's that possible? And it speaks to the character of the kids. They love football, they love playing together, and they love working to get better at the game. So as long as you keep that in perspective, I think Joe Paterno said something once, if it's just wins and losses, and that's all it ever is, then you're going to end up being a very, very unhappy person in your life. That there's so many good things that come out of playing the game of football in a football game or in practice that are going to serve you well for the rest of your life. And as a teacher, you need to pay attention to that. You can't put everything in the wins and losses. God knows that's the measuring stick, but there's also some other things to count on.
After the game on Saturday, as you were getting ready to go across the field to shake hands with Coach Signetti, I noticed that Antonio Harris was down on one knee on the sideline, and you stopped, and you two had a conversation, and you're not going to tell me what you said, but it looked to me like this was a guy that just gave everything he had out on that football field, which you mentioned before the game that he has done for 4 years, banged up and everything else. And I know those are probably the types of moments that 10 years from now you're going to cherish.
Oh, God, yeah. And him, too. Like, Antonio came in as a spoiled fat kid that, didn't really know how to work that hard, but had some great potential. And we had to break the veneer to get inside him. And once we did, he's flown. And when you want to know what I said, I got down on a knee with him, and he was struggling a little bit. And I told him how proud I was of him. And I said, hey, you're going to walk out of here. He's been hurt in the Elon game for the last 3 years, and one of those times was a broken leg. So he played his heart out, he played his guts out. He finished that game. And that's a good memory because he felt like he was a little bit cursed when it came to playing them. And then the cool thing was that when I went to find Coach Signetti after the game, their stud linebacker, number 3, Messer, he didn't shake anybody. He came and found me. And very rarely does this kind of happen. And he grabbed me, shook my hand, he hugged me, he said, Coach, he goes, you guys are really good. Like, I didn't understand how good you were. And it was quite a compliment from a very intelligent football player. And those are the kind of, as a coach, those are the kind of things that you just can't understand you can't understand how it feels until you've been there. It's a great feeling in a bad circumstance. It's a feeling of respect. And as a player or as a coach in any way, shape, or form, you always want to have the respect. You want to earn the respect of your opponents as players and coaches. That's a good day. That's a good moment in a tough day.
Well, hopefully this week the Tigers not only will get respect, they'll get the victory against the tribe of William and Mary. Gordy Combs and I will be with you at 1:45 with the pregame show on CBS Sports Radio 1300 and TowsonTigers.com. So for head coach Rob Ambrose, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for watching this edition of the Tiger Football Report. And as always, go Tigers.